Please start.
One of the challenges is the old faculty or staff member were resistant to the quality assurance method. So they follow the traditional ways or methods of teaching. So to enforce them to go into quality assurance procedures, methods, whatever, it was hard to get. So old generation or previous generation was resistant to this. Another challenge could be it requires too much work, too much paperwork. It's an additional work to their actual work, which is research or teaching. Now you're requiring them quality assurance job, which is an additional work to them, so extra load.
Yeah, but I have been passing through. I know that the extra work comes in the beginning. When we are starting to build up the quality management system, so the extra work comes in the first place.
Yeah.
But afterwards, then it gives help, so it's not such a burden anymore afterwards.
Yeah, but at the beginning, that's what they understand. It's too much burden for them, other than the resistance.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think one of the conditions for building the capacity is the higher management institutional support that you had at the beginning, because it's something to back up the procedure that there may be some resistance at the beginning, but if it's the policy of the university, so all the employers are following that policy. So it's not something to negotiate, it's something that is settled from the beginning.
I would say that institutional support is really something very important, but also from my own experience, if the faculty and the students don't believe in the spirit, they will fail. Yeah. So I would say actually in Syria, for example, I would agree with my friend. The oldest universities, not only the oldest staff, but like some universities like Damascus University, which was established in 1901, is having more trouble adopting quality assurance methods when compared to newer universities, like a private university, for example, about 7 or 8 years old. But a challenge, I don't know if it's specific to Syria, with regard to student participation in the quality assurance, is that specific because I think that's the challenge. Is that with regard to students, students come from schools, and schools are really sort of like patriarchal systems. So even when we tell them to participate and give them the tools, they don't. They kind of shy about participating, and it could be something beyond our control. But I don't know if a university could do something concrete to overcome this. So a condition I would say for in response to this challenge could be to prepare students to
they need to teach them how to participate.
Workshops and training.
And to tell them the importance about this and kind of probably especially
Raise a culture of quality assurance in them. Have to build them, construct something.
I am from Belarus, and in my country we have special order of Minister of Education in implementation of management quality system of ISO 9001, and almost all institutions they have certificate of this system. Okay, and this work like you told already, because as I understand, all quality management systems, they work the same way. We have quality manual, they have a description of the processes, they have feedback system, they have internal audit. Of course, they have external audit every year, and once in the 3 years, they should have new certificate that our system is working. So, what I would like to say that I don't think that age is important for implementation. I think that people don't like changing at all. It's statistics that just 15% like, and they live in changing. 50% they can't be in changing, and 70% they should have good leader for that. And so in your presentation, I hear that you told not once that your management, top management, is working with the system. And so for me, it's a very important interest from top management.
From Kazakhstan, we track last 25 years change our old Soviet system and moving from state contract to quality assurance. This is a big challenge for my country. In this case, we have a more different way. First of all, we try to improve our internal system, and we realize and certificate from ISO 901. This is a process we beginning near 15 years ago. After that, we going to way of independent accreditation, and now near 5 or 6 years we have independent accreditation system in my country. We're open door to international abroad agency. In this time, in this case, each university can choose how way they choose to improve quality. And each university can choose abroad or national accreditation agency. And each university can choose maybe one of part of program accredited in one agency, one of maybe 10 program in next agency. And we have a unique condition. We have a different standard one, but all of them are based of one ESG. ESG is good for us because we have a good place for improve the process for our quality system. We have a more different university, and we try to improve quality system in each university. But in each case, we need to a strong leader because leader need to take to decision and right decision from the strategy. And each case we need the resources for fighting. For example, my university 3 years provide very serious changes, and we move our faculty, we involve more abroad faculty from Europe, USA and other countries. We change mentality, we provide more trainings for our faculty and for our administrative staff, and all of them need a funding because we have a very strong condition from faculty and from students, no corruptions, and in this case we need additional money to involve good faculty and then work a good student from our university. And of course we need to changes and management of changes every day, because every day our ministry changes the rules. We try to change rules from ministry, we have more discussion, and we need a support from our policy, not only in the university, but on the ministry level. Because in this time we have very hard rules for university. We have more frame, because we have persons of very qualified, overqualified faculty. We have a percentage for how we have the student of bachelor and how of student from magister program, and as the regulation is not clear for us, is not typical for other countries. We try to change this not only our internal system, we try to change this all higher educational system in our country.
Okay, yes, please.
When I give you my experience in Egypt.
Conditions.
Okay, I just said from our experience in Egypt, I quite agree with colleagues that we should build the culture. We should be patient in building this culture. And we use all ways for building a culture, of awareness, training, workshops, website. This is one thing. The other thing is that we should have a leadership that is well informed. It's not enough that he is strong or so. He should be well informed what is going and what is the target. And of course, if he's well informed and he's a good person and he's keen, he will be supported. The third important thing is guaranteeing sustainability. We should, from the day one, guarantee that we shall have all means of sustaining the system that is built, and I mean by all ways of sustaining resources, including human resources and funds, in addition to stability in the rules governing the process.
Yeah, thank you. But perhaps I summarized a little bit so far, but
That's what I wanted to do. I have 5, that's why I wanted to summarize. Can I start before you?
okay, okay.
Assign a well-informed leader, allocate resources, organize workshops, grant support from university, granting sustainability.
Okay, yes. So I was thinking a little bit different way, but let's see. I was thinking that in the university there should be some kind of continuity, but the tradition should not be too strong, so that people are able to make some changes in their habits, in their methods, in their work. So that is like something about the continuity and something about breaking the tradition.
So it's like
A bit of
a
both.
balanced
Balance between.
approach between top down and bottom.
Exactly. This is also very important.
Because
Yes.
I actually was sort of terrified by your number of 14 years, and then people realized that this is really good. And this is Finland, much more, I assume, much more open society. But I was thinking, like, speed up the results, or at least the appreciation. In a way, you have to move like concurrently, top down and bottom up. It's not
And not compromise.
Exactly, but just don't think that we have taken 14 years to build up, because
I know, no, I said the appreciation. So
Making resistance.
So there was this continuity against traditions, sometimes, and there's strong leadership, well-informed, strong leadership is needed, and the leadership should know what are the targets, what are the goals, and I would add the strategy also here, so that the university should have a strategy, so that the leadership knows where to go. So they say that this is the flag, just follow this flag, and we are going this way.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Perhaps I missed something that you.
Leadership, resources, organize workshops.
Resources is very important. So if there is a well-informed leadership, so they should also offer some kind of resources for the quality management work. So it needs resources, human resources, or whatever. Everything comes to the money anyhow.
This I call sustainability.
Sustainable. Yeah.
All means of sustainability.
Yeah. Okay, then, great. So far,
May I have a comment?
yes, please.
Our colleagues and we at the beginning were very afraid, and really we got rejection from all the professors. I'm all the professor, by the way. We find a way just to get some of them who will believe and support us. Once
Exactly.
you find a person like that, he will be able to attract.
The rest, exactly,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, this is very wise way to do.
Then doing lobbying.
Somehow.
That is the word, yes.
Lobbying.
Yeah,
And maybe you forgot that should be some relationship between QMS and
relationship.
between this system and quality assurance system.
Hmm.
Because in my country, they use this way,
Between management system, what do you mean?
quality assurance and quality management system.
So
Because I saw 9001 work separately. And quality, we have quality control from that is Department of Education. That's another.
Coordination.
So quality management.
Two directions for implementation of the quality in the university. Quality management and
So quality work should be part of the everyday life of the university. Yeah.
like quality management, we use maybe like 2 for quality assurance.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very difficult for me to separate everything from each other. But anyway,
Do you call it quality?
Yeah.
In some universities.
okay. So far so good, but anything else that comes in your mind? Okay, please.
Students involvement. Yes.
Okay.
Encourage students.
Yeah. Just I'd like to raise the incentives.
Okay.
Incentives,
Mm-hmm.
like something rewards for the best practices for the teachers who are following the guidelines for quality assurance in their courses and their daily practices in the teaching methodologies and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I think like so.
I'm against this point. I'm against this point. As far as I'm concerned, I think it should be forced upon staff members. It should not have incentives to do, well, it is the culture nowadays, quality assurance. It has to be forced. It has to be a must, not giving them incentive to do their work. Because from now on, no one would follow, but
You're
this,
talking how to bring the people into this, so.
you
would
don't
like
do
to go
this,
to
take
there,
your time, but you're
talking
going to do
about
it.
the
That's what I
conditions
mean.
and steps to go
Okay,
there. So I
But
think,
to tell them from the beginning, this is what you're going to end up with. Take your time, attend whatever organized workshops we have, but eventually we're going to do it.
Add something.
Okay.
If I
Yes.
As a condition, now it has been 1 year, I'm piloting this in my university, and I see how it's important to accompany the institutions, to accompany them in order to have the information and in order to let them identify the ameliorations, the field of amelioration and how to do it. So this accompaniment coaching, I think is very important also to ensure a coaching, that this leadership that must be patient and know how to pilot change. They must know how to accompany also.
Exactly. I think I can add something in this.
Coaching.
Because in Nigeria we don't have a national agency, but we have a national instance working about quality assurance, and there are in the level of each faculty group, which is called the cellule d'assurance qualité. Then it's steering groups, and it actually the quality assurance is a trend. Then if it is a tendency, the things are going fast, and we are also taking the good practices from the countries like Europe or the European, that they have implemented some standards and guidelines and all the things that we talk about. And I think that practically, as Madame Neda said, l'accompagnement.
it's good to have these groups at the level of the ministries or the Ministry of Higher Education to accompany this steering group in order to spread the experience through all the faculties of the country. Yeah.
So we need some kind of organization for
Yeah.
how to implement
Network.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes, from the bottom till
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, I think, is it your turn now?
Yeah. I talked about students' involvement in the process. It's a condition that from the beginning they should be not only aware, not only they have to be fully engaged in the whole process from the beginning.
Exactly.
They should spread the awareness with the group from the beginning to work with the professors, to work with the system, to work with the collecting of data, anything they could share, they should be there from the beginning. So it's a condition for the institution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you first.
Nikolai from Moldova. I'm a student's representative, and in order to ensure the students' training for the participation in quality assurance, it's not for the first time when I'm mentioning, but we see very close related with this with the students' unions, students' associations, because the responsibility for training the students, it should not be only the responsibility or the effort of the agency. Because the European Students' Union has their own pool of experts in quality assurance. At the national level, this Students' Union, they have their own pools of students which have such experience, and they can contribute on training the students how they can assess from a student's perspective the quality in the universities. And that's why in many countries there is not a direct relation between students from agency, external quality assurance agency, and internal ones with the relation between students there from students with students associations, because it can contribute to this common goal and to ensure the participation. And also if we deal, because in Moldova we deal with this low participation of the students, that could be the only way to motivate students to participate, being somehow involved in a more global process, and they to be quality assurance to be one of them, or their involvement in everything that means education.
Yes. Yes, please.
Well, very important is that the whole community of the institution are participating. That's why we never forget the involvement of the administrators, of the administrative staff. They are very important in success of the system.
Yeah.
Besides faculty and students, this is
Yeah. Please.
I'm from Tajikistan, and in our case, I'd like to say
Could
that.
you please
Okay.
speak a little louder?
Unfortunately, in our case, at university, usually don't people understand about the quality assurance. We still think that this is like control. And sometimes then from agency, because we have agency, but under Ministry of Education, it's not independent agency. And then they come to university. So all staff of university think that they come for control, and we must to show our achievements and to be like how to say so all to show only positive.
I see. Yeah.
Positive
Promotion.
is achievement, like
It's not self-evaluation, it's promotion.
Yes. Not like
Self-promotion.
maybe reality situation, but something to show that we have good achievements, a lot of good practice, and show that we are have everything for this special certificate.
Yeah. So there is a challenge coming from the quality control to quality management and to the quality culture.
Yeah.
So this is the change what is needed.
Yes, we discussed this part of question how to change mentality from quality control to quality culture.
Exactly.
And
I think it might refer somehow to the overall culture in the country or something like that. So we have all our historic backgrounds and there are several kind of difficulties there. And I can fully understand that the situation in many countries, for example, is very much different than in Finland, so that the openness and the honestness which we can offer, and we are not afraid of anything like that. So it's not achieved in every country yet, I think. And this takes time.
and I have one more tips. We have a good collaboration from abroad agency and international agency in Kazakhstan. And in this case, we very active involved abroad expert to our external visit from each university. In this case, I know each abroad expert can to look as fresh, and they have a fresh opinion from our university, from our procedure, from our process. It's very useful for each university and each case, each university, every abroad expert write a really effective recommendation because they haven't our frame, our local frame, our regulation and other. And this is very useful for maybe internationalization and not only involved students, we also involved abroad experts, but also involved our stakeholder from the fabric, from the other university in the process. Is very good.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone want to add something at the moment? Because time is running and we have been discussing through the first topic what are the challenges and also good practices from your own countries and institutions. And so we have a list. Do we have a list? Would you like to read?
Yes, and here the outcome of our session here is the 5 conditions for building institutional, and then now we will move to 5 steps that could take to support. So there are 5 conditions for building. If you want, I have tried to conceptualize a little bit, so because there are many ideas, and we have come up with 5 only.
It doesn't matter. We can have more.
We will have 7. The first one is the institutional support of higher management. The higher management that to show that it's a policy of the university and it's a part of its strategy. So the first point I put it on the top. Then the leadership, and about the leadership of the process, we have said many things. That well informed, skilled, patient, have a knowledge how about change management and to process by coaching. Then a third point is the point of sustainability of structures, and 4, the resources for the quality management, to assure resources. 5, the question of mobilization, engagement, involvement from the beginning of all the university community and the stakeholders, students, staff, and academic, administrative, academic staff, etc., through initiation and training. 6, manage to know how to manage tensions, then and find equilibriums between tradition and change, between bottom up and top bottom procedures. And 7, the question of coordination between different tools that are in the university, from management system and quality management system. Okay?
Oh, I think that was great. Well done. Do you want to add something? Okay, if that's okay, then we move to the second topic, which is we have to have a list of 5 concrete steps that this Is it an Erasmus program? Is
Here,
Yeah.
higher education reform expert.
Yeah.
Higher education reform expert.
Could help to support, how could it support? And I think you had already some very important issues there.
To organize workshops.
But perhaps,
I must say, I would suggest we take the points one by one and say how here can help it.
okay. So, would you like to start with your points?
Yeah.
The first point.
Okay. We can start by here can organize workshops for building up capacities.
Yes, I think this is obvious, so it would help very much.
Maybe we should make it participate, because as a here, it's not in our capacity to organize, so.
This is what we do.
Yeah, of course. Take it from Anio.
Do you have any special?
Yeah, it would be organized by the NEO.
No.
The here can organize.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any suggestions? What kind of workshops or
Seminars, workshops, roundtable
Building up
discussions,
capacities.
going to all universities, and we can help in contacting the university and for the logistics, and we can help.
So we can organize with the help of the NEO.
This is what we do in
Every
here.
class
The partner countries,
Okay.
the partner countries, for example, if we in Lebanon are going to have one, we'll have it at a certain Lebanese, we'll have it at a certain Lebanese university. The here member are the ones who are gonna write the reader, organize it. Then we ask for an external member from the sphere. They would provide it with a
Okay.
here member that would give it. This is how it goes. This is how it's actually
yes. So
going on.
this is, yeah. Seminars, workshops.
Through towns also.
Yes.
Technical assistant missions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
called technical assistant task.
Alright, I just want to say something as a here team member, a student here team member. One of the things a student and the here member should do is exchange experience and tell the other students about what quality assurance is, and regarding all the things like I'm a student here to learn all the aspects of quality assurance and how we can improve education, and how we can make sure they understand what quality assurance is. So sessions and like seminars and group table, like Dr. Reed said, we do that to students as well to make sure they understand their part as well.
Yeah.
So workshops could be for staff member and students on quality assurance.
I would suggest that the roundtable was something that was the, and I would recommend these benchmarkings. I'm very much in favor
I
of them.
agree with you, and maybe we can create a special base from our website with case of good practice from each country.
Okay.
For example, for students central learning, for example, quality assurance, because we have not more time to discuss in these 2 days. But in each country, I'm sure we have a more good practice in other university, and we can discuss description of the discussion.
So I'm sorry, perhaps it's not.
Just if I can say, I wanted to say before Sipas, because I want to put it here about benchmarking. What's your proposition about? Sorry, before.
Yeah, I was just suggesting that the benchmarking should be arranged somehow so that this is it's some kind of workshop, but it's for a smaller group. So you could build some kind of groups of universities, say 5 universities
For
together
benchmarking.
for benchmarking, and then you can get more information about the systems of the other university, more detailed and more deep.
Like case study.
Maybe we have a technical assistant mission about benchmarking for 2 days. The first day was with the president of the university's directors and the vice rectors. The second day was for all the staff members from the university about benchmarking of leadership in universities. This is one, we did this. Yeah.
Okay.
But benchmark is different.
Benchmarking of leadership. University. Benchmarking of quality.
So it's your turn.
Well, I just wanted to reflect on what has been already done. I mean, organizing workshops down to this is okay, but what we are doing in Georgia and our hair is also providing some fact finding in surveys And when you were speaking about the kind of database of best and worst practice, we did 2 surveys on how quality assurance is working in Georgian universities. It's already published on our website, also with English translation. So, and I think this is always important because Harris can provide, let's say, in-depth analysis of situation. Where are we now? Where are the main challenges? So providing this kind of research background for it, and also lobbying at all levels, because very often institutional quality assurance depends on, first, in case of public universities in my country, in any case, it depends on legislation, and our hairs are quite good in pushing parliamentary committee for some changes in legal act. So I think we can also use their capacities for lobbying at different government levels.
First student.
Yes. Here also can use the dissemination tools like media and newspapers, news broadcasting, any available social media or the media to raise awareness of the culture of quality assurance and the importance to have the policy or the strategy in the universities.
Here has the ability, because we often meet with the minister and with the university presidents, so they have the chance to convey information and to get the support of those leaderships and to let them more aware about what should be done and things like that.
Can I add something here, please? I share the point of Mr. Mustafa. Sorry. We have 10 years in my country, and we have 5 from the ministry. And like my colleague from Georgia said, we have only the public universities, and we have to push even with the here. And I think the things can be enhanced in case the hears are more active. I mean, some of the hears are very active, but some are not very active. I think if we raise awareness about quality assurance to be fostered, it's among the group of the hears first, and we can spread this to the other levels in order to gain on time, I think. Yeah, and on the impact.
And in any case, we need the new project. I'm of this project is a really performance of internal quality assurance in each university. It's very useful for each country.
To what, sorry?
New project.
New
project.
project.
Maybe for capacity building. It's very useful for all of us. We need the leader from the who is developer.
Yeah, but for case of my country, we cannot right now send any project of capacity buildings in quality assurance, because quality assurance is not among the national priorities. Then, if in case we send this application, it is rejected. This is why we make a request to the company.
Quality assurance from priority in each country.
Yes, you can have the regional priority.
Yes.
Regional.
And we have to be in a large region.
Yes.
We need to change our ministry.
The ministry, forget about it.
I have a suggestion here.
To have the quality assurance and the priorities.
Yes, exactly. Can I say something here?
Yes,
For here to do? Here should be participating in choosing national priorities for projects offered by trusts.
Should be consulted.
Yeah.
So can you repeat
Here, participate in putting national priorities for the country. Defining. I don't know the youth can do this. Can they do piloting experience in the university, in a certain university, applying the quality management system? Pilot study.
Pilot studies.
To conceive pilot studies, this is what you want to say?
Yeah, pilot study. For the year to do a pilot study for a university to be a leader university or to pioneer.
Actually, Algeria is working on a program training on quality assurance, and it is national priority to build curricula on quality assurance, but at the level of Algeria universities. And this projet pilote. Hold on.
Now, we are about getting those lists ready, but I would like to hear something about your challenges and good practices from your own countries. Would you like to?
We finish the?
No. I think we can get something more.
I have finished this. If you want to do a synthesis.
Okay. So, would you like to read them first? Okay,
So
let's
we
read
have
what we have got here.
Let us have more. I have also put together, organized seminars, workshops, roundtables for students, administrative and academic staff, and high management governance, especially workshops on benchmarking.
Maybe we plus study visit.
Study visit.
Yes. The second point, to propose terms that are study visits. Something organized study visits. I will add it. Okay. Now I'll add it. Propose terms in the quality assurance capacity building, especially on regional projects. To work on the dissemination through what page or something else about good practices, documents, everything. 4, now it's 5, participate in identifying national priorities and do pilot studies. So would you like to add something more?
It's about the point of about participate about national priorities. It is about involvement of peer in consultation, right?
Yes.
Organize visits in institutions.
Study visit.
But can we do this? Study visit, and all we know we can do workshops.
This is a study.
No,
This is a study.
no. In my normal study visit, we can't do study visit this year. And we get twice a year.
Not the study
Study visit would involve like strong case study, strong experience.
So can they do a study visit to yes or not?
I would say yes for a study visit. But is it we can ask Sphere to do a study visit on
Eventually, recommendations will be raised to Sphere to allow this to occur if it is can occur. This will be a sort of recommendation. Yeah.
What about list of good examples, good practice from our site?
She said it.
I
She said websites of
and
media.
And we maybe plus from each country examples.
Okay, so national and regional and yes.
Because in any case we had big, it's a lot for me. More is very fast. And we sometimes.
and maybe a study visit could be at your university. Actually, at University of Eastern Finland.
We have had visitors there.
Because it details, case study is like, study visit is a detailed case study of one institution.
Have experience all what we're talking about.
Experience all over.
You are already a living example of a procedure that took 14 years. So we are done.
Yeah, but I would like to hear something about your own experiences about challenges and building a quality culture. Or
The main
success.
The main challenge, with Dr. Yusuf understand, I think the main challenge has to do with the image of quality assurance.
With the
image of quality assurance, because it is like seen, it's like investigating, like police work, and there is a real discrepancy between the higher education institutions and the quality assurance. It's like two different entities. And it has to do with the word control. It should be more participatory and complementary. The other challenge has to do with the national qualification framework, which is still under development, and the issue of implementation seems very far. So these are the main challenges that I like to raise.
Are these familiar for you all?
Yes, the national qualification framework, yes, the same.
But actually, it was already started in Syria, but the crisis, they've changed priorities. So actually, one of, if I may call that challenge now, is in some cases, quality assurance is being conflicted with providing access to wider access, and some universities in Syria, due to the situation, they cannot control. So it was suggested that other universities could, in a way, host these students, and that would increase the students, but without increase in infrastructure, would affect the faculty ratio. But everyone, when we talk about that, this is damaging the quality. Most people are saying, well, it's now our priority is to increase the access and to provide. So that's actually now a challenge. But I think somehow this is specific to Syria, the country crisis, that in many cases, quality assurance is conflicting with more important priorities in the eye of the university or the ministry or the legislative, the higher education council, the legislative body of higher education in Syria. They convinced of it, but in some cases, when it conflicts with these other priorities, we have to, sort of step down, at least temporarily, before we come back and raise the issue.
So here, those things.
I have a comment on this. One of the standards in many accreditation agencies is risk management. We should have a plan for risk management, including this is a risk and you are managing. This is part of the quality.
The issue of interpreting the criteria and the standards sometimes is misleading. So clarification of standards of the quality assurance needs to be manifested sometimes, because it is large and it's hard to interpret. It's vague to allow in some items.
Actually, I just reflect on Dr. Mustafa from Egypt about risk mitigation, and I completely agree. And in many cases, I and many other faculty members at my university, at the Master's University, at the institution level, and at other at the sector level, I would say, we always argue that because of the challenges we have, because of the changes in priorities, we have also to think more and more about quality assurance. Having like, I need to provide a wider access, then it's not like I provide more access to higher education or I do quality assurance. I mean, this thing, the need to provide wider access should itself make us think more about quality control and quality assurance. So that's, but it's something, in many cases, it's difficult to convince about that.
Let me point out some information from Uzbek Science Center as well. So we have had already experience in the regional quality assurance network that was developed and capacity building was provided by ENQA, European network, and directly the colleagues from Finland was really active over there, and still the deputy of the General Secretary of the European Network for Qualification for Quality Assurance is from the Finland. The professor from the Turku University, I forget. What is important that in the all Central Asian countries there are agencies, but I don't think so that they are independent enough. They are somehow controlled by the government. So it's quite difficult to imagine that agency from Kazakhstan could come to Uzbekistan and make quality assurance.
But in any case, we are open
Yes,
because
of
we have
course.
a independent agency. We are ready to invite more abroad
Yes.
agency for
Yes, yes,
registration in car.
Yes, in Ecuador. So, but what about other countries as well? So it should be somehow Bologna Declaration signed, but we are not. All other 4 countries in Central are not signed of Bologna Declaration. So it's very important to create or develop the parallel independent network of quality assurance, not belong to the governmental, umbrella organization. So, and after what we could make somehow mutual quality assurance procedures, etc. Let me present one good example from the hospital, like your former boss was a hospital. I'm also a medical doctor. So you know about the Commission for Accreditation that was make accreditation for the hospitals. And as you remember, there is no allowed. For example, if auditors from Uzbekistan couldn't make a quality assurance for Uzbek hospitals, so it should be from Kazakhstan. And of course, the Kazakhstan should be accredited by Uzbekistan or Kyrgyzstan in order to avoid.
Exactly.
Yes, so I'm speaking about another approach to quality assurance. I mean regionally based approach in order to be more comfortable and more attractive and more trustless, and, somehow like this one.
Yeah, sounds nice.
Yes, sounds nice actually.
We have more challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
More
We do
capacity
a
performance.
Yeah. Do you want to hear them again, our lists? Okay, yes, please.
Building is okay, yes. No, the steps are here, or what do you want?
Everything.
Everything, okay. So and maybe we could do the link that you have proposed between the conditions and the support. Maybe we can add something. So for 5 conditions for building, institutional quality, culture, capacity. So institutional support of higher education management to show that it's a part of the policy of the institution of its strategy. About the leadership of the process, a leadership which would be well informed, skilled, patient, knowing how to manage change and to coach change also. About the sustainability of structure, the resources to assure resources for the quality management, the mobilization, engagement, and involvement from the beginning of the process of the university community, the stakeholders, students, administrative and academic staff, and through initiation and training. Then manage tensions, find equilibriums between tradition and change, between top bottom,
Top down.
top down,
Top down.
Bottom up.
down, and bottom up procedures. Then a coordination between different tools of management systems and quality management systems.
Yeah.
Okay. And now for the steps. So we have six things. Organize seminars, workshops, round tables for students, administrative and academic staff, and high management, especially workshops on benchmarking for the managers. Organize student study visits propose stands in quality assurance capacity building and encourage especially regional projects, especially regional projects, disseminate through web page or other means good practices which would be national, regional or international and documents, participate in identifying national priorities and do pilot studies. So would you like to add something?
Use informal meetings with ministers and research universities.
Informal to what?
I mean, we had a chance, most of the members of here, I'm speaking about my country.
Meet informally, what is the action?
Actually, you have the chance to meet the minister, and you have a chance to meet most of the university presidents. And you can take the chance, even if it is for another reason, you can take the chance to make them aware about the needs of quality assurance.
Communicating with the authorities like ministries or
it's not for because in our case we have communication from ministry and we provide some round table from ministry and
Okay, so you use this communication to inform them with their support. What's the participation in national priorities? Specific national priorities mentioned.
But national priorities really
Understood, is it?
If I put it like this, if I put it like this, communicate with ministers, presidents of universities, even informally. This is what your part.
Yes, please, to be a member, maybe some commission in Ministry of Education, because in our ministry we have some commission for reforms, and maybe to be like a member of this commission, because to be participating in a round table in Ministry of Education and universities.
So participate in national commissions?
It's like a member, to be involved in the commission.
This is it's a really good idea, but I have same experience. It's not good for us because in this case, our member states you need to choose where you work, or here, or ministry, or our university. It's a really big problem for me. For example, it's
You must
really
find
the case everywhere. But not good for
What is more important? You have to choose your candidate.
Yeah.
It means there are two kinds of structure in one camp.
Yeah.
Or it should be one camp.
Okay.
It would be still nice to hear some kind of success stories you have perhaps had in your career as quality persons.
I mean, I can tell you that the whole reform in Georgia with quality assurance was strictly top down. We started 10 years ago. And it was a pleasure seeing that in these 10 years, more initiatives were coming bottom up. And we were speaking about time and being the necessity of being patient. You cannot change the academic culture and mentality overnight, so you have to wait. But it is really rewarding when, by the end of the day, you see that professors who were so against it are now coming up with their own initiatives. They want to get international accreditations. They are self-establishing horizontal links between different universities and colleges. It's very rewarding. So I think you need time. You have to be patient. I personally have always problems with being patient, but well, you have to. And then you see the results. Really. It's not top down anymore.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to add something that I think it's really good it's happening in Jordan. And this year, my faculty got a student member to be part of the quality assurance team. And this is the first. And we're hoping the other faculties in the same university and other universities to follow that road because it's quite good for students to be involved in that team.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was nice to hear. Anything else?
Actually, being professors and researchers, nothing satisfies us. We are always seeking to be better. So when you speak about success, okay, no,
I think we do as a success. We have ambitious.
About time? Yeah, I think this is a nice way to end up this session. Thank you for all of you participating.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we can take a formal photo from our.
Sure.
I asked, is this enough? I try to find.
Catholic University Alumni Group.
Good.
Can I ask you for one more?
Open the.
Please, no.
Look into the camera, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
that has affected you all?
Sorry? Yeah. Sorry.
Хорошо.